Welcome everyone to Shine Where You Are. This week I want to talk about Jesus and learn something else about him. We've been learning lots of things about him that we can really rely upon and enjoy in our relationship with him, and today is another of those things. Now, Jesus had lots of good friends, as we know, and he had three special friends called Mary, Martha and Lazarus, who were two sisters and a brother that he spent a lot of time with. And one day Lazarus got very sick and everyone was very sad. And I'd like us to watch Saddleback video on this now, and we'll come back and talk about it afterwards. Enjoy. That really is an amazing story, isn't it? Incredible. I'm waiting for that to happen again today in my life, to see somebody raised from the dead like that. God gave me a promise once that I'd see that, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Now, Jesus was away when he was told that Lazarus was sick, and there's no trains, planes and cars in those days, so if he was to get back to Lazarus, it was going to be a long walk. And we see that by the time Jesus arrived back to see his good friend, Lazarus had already died, and they put him in the tomb, which is like a grave but just not underground. And so he'd been dead quite a few days, and everybody had gathered to comfort Mary and Martha and the family, and everybody was crying, everybody was wailing. And even though Jesus knew that he was going to do something amazing and raise Lazarus from the dead, he still understood that they were very sad. And he didn't stop them crying. He didn't go, stop all that snivelling. You don't need all this big display of grief and emotion. I'm here to sort things out. Just don't be sad. Don't cry, don't cry. I don't like it when people cry. He didn't say any of that. In fact, what it says was, he was all churned up. In fact, he said he was angry, which was a strange thing to say, wasn't it? And then it said he cried. So I wondered what he was angry about, and I think what he was angry about was that people have to face this kind of sadness of losing loved ones, particularly because it was never meant to be like that. Sin and death were never meant to be part of our lives. And so I think he got angry about that and decided to do something about it. And so he decided to say, on this day, as a sign of what's to come, I'm not going to let death have the last laugh here. I'm going to raise Lazarus up from the dead. And that's just what he did, bringing great joy. And it's a comfort for us because we know that he will do the same for us. All those who know him, it's just like falling asleep. And then when we wake up, we're with Jesus, with a new body, with a new spirit and soul that will last forever with him, and with all the loved ones in the family of God. We'll be celebrating eternity all together. Won't that be wonderful? But until then, and if we have lost loved ones, and I know some of us have recently, we're allowed to be sad. We're allowed to miss them. Jesus isn't saying, stop, it'll be all right in the end. No, he's saying, come to me, I understand. Come to me, I'll walk this out with you. Come to me, and me and the Holy Spirit will comfort you, will understand how it feels, will help you through, and we'll get through to the other side. And in the end, I will have the final victory, and so will you, because of me. So I want us to know that we're emotional people. Jesus made us that way, so we don't have to squash our emotions down, whether we're boys, girls, men or women. We were meant to be emotional. If Jesus can be emotional, he can get angry sometimes when things are bad and sinful. He can laugh, he can enjoy life, he can weep when things are sad. He's an emotional man, in touch with the feelings of himself and other people. Then we need to be the same. And we can be the same. And when we feel sad or things are hard, we can go to him, and he's the best person to understand and the best person to help. So I wonder if we should just take some time this morning to actually just tell him something we might be sad about, or angry about, or disappointed about, we feel strongly about, maybe we're scared about something. We can take the moment to actually let him know how we're feeling, what emotions and feelings are coming up. And he will understand, and he will speak to us about that. So maybe just tell him and just wait for a moment and feel what comes. See if he gives you a word or a picture or a thought, and just write it down. Or maybe you'll just feel the sense of his warm presence with you, comforting you. And if you haven't got anything today that you want to speak to Jesus about like that, then there's plenty of people around us who are struggling. So maybe bring one of your friends to Jesus, or somebody you know who's sick at this time, or struggling in some way, or upset, or they've lost somebody close to them recently. Speak to Jesus about them and let him give you a word for them. And then maybe you can pop that in a card or buy them a gift and let them know what Jesus said that is comforting to them. So let's just remember, we're emotional. We're allowed to be big criers, even when we're as old as me. And we can share all our feelings with Jesus, who knows us, who loves us, who understands us, who will walk it all out with us and help get us through. So I leave that with you. Have some good times talking to him about the things that are bothering you or bothering somebody else. And if there's anything to share in terms of what he says, then share it with your loved ones. Or you can always share it with me. I'd love to hear what Jesus says to any of you. So on that note, I'm just going to say a quick prayer and leave you to it. So Jesus, I thank you that you're an emotional person, that you understand our feelings. You understand our deepest feelings, and you love to laugh with us, and you will cry with us when we're crying. And you can show us the way through these hard times. I pray, Jesus, you would just do that. And as we speak to you about some of those things today, you'd speak back to us.